Hello! And now it's time for something very special. Did you know that today at Ignite, we have with us the youngest MVP in Microsoft history? Yep, yeah, we do. And we've convinced her to dial in to our conference all the way from the other side of the world. And I'd love to take this moment to welcome our amazingly good friend, Ashley Culmsee. Hi, Ashley. Thank you so much for joining us today. First of all,
thank you for having me.
Thank you. This is wonderful. I know it's some obscene hour your time, so we appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. I love your shirt, by the way. Are those tiny critters and mushrooms?
Yeah, yes.
That's
tiny.
Amazing. I love that. So we had a chance to chat recently, and you shared your journey from how you went from student to not just a tech person who creates tech, but someone who trains others on how to create tech. Do you mind sharing that story with the audience? I thought it was one of the most unique and cool ones I've ever heard in my entire tech career.
Yes, so it's a bit of a wild ride. I started as a psychology student. I was at university, just studying psychology, trying to find a part-time job so that I could actually earn some money. I ended up getting sort of like a paper route, but with like all the advertising and magazines and stuff. And it seemed like a great job because it was in the neighborhood, but it turns out it wasn't, because it was just an obscene amount of paper that was showing up, and I was not able to do it myself because I didn't drive. So it was really hard to transport it. My entire family had to help me. They all hated it. Everyone hated it so much. So eventually my dad, who works in IT and who was looking into Power Apps at the time, he essentially said to me, "Hey, I'm sick of the paper route. If you learn Power Apps with me, I will pay you the same amount that they're paying you now." And in my brain, I thought, oh, cool, I get to stay at home and not have to walk around everywhere. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll get paid to stay at home. And so he taught me Power Apps. I learned a lot. I realized it was actually something that I enjoyed doing. I'd never really considered technology as a field that I wanted to go into. It was kind of one of those things where I'm like, oh, my dad does tech, so it must be boring. I don't care about what he's talking about. And then eventually Microsoft said, hey, well, Audrey Gordon from Microsoft, she said, here is a challenge. Try and make a fidget spinner in Power Apps. And I was actually still in classes at the time, but my dad emailed me and he was like, you have to do this. You have to get involved. And I kind of went, I don't really want to get involved. I have exams coming up. And he said, no, you have to. So I came home and he kind of tried to get me into it by going, what if you did it like this? What if you tried this? And I just went, no, none of those will work. If you really wanted to do it, you would do it this way. And he said, okay, do it then. And I did. And I ended up winning the challenge. And all of a sudden there were all these people, aware of my existence. And it was very strange because at the time I was 18. Like I didn't know anything about the tech world, and there'd be people replying to my tweets and I'd go, oh, that's just a random person. And Dad would be like, no, that's an important person. That's someone you actually should know about. And so after that, I kind of got into more complicated Power Apps projects. I started working for my dad. And eventually, I got nominated as an MVP. And I realized that with that, I could try and help other people like me to get into the industry. Because, as a teenager in high school, especially at an all-girls high school, there's not a lot of experience in IT. There's not a lot of exposure to it. You kind of it's like this far off thing, just full of middle-aged white guys. And you're like, oh, that's not me. So I'll just let them do what they're doing. I'll go into something else. And I realized, oh, if I'm an MVP, well, now that I'm an MVP, I can kind of try and be visible to other young people and try and encourage them to get into a career that they probably don't think is for them, because I didn't think it was for me, but it could be.
I love this story so much because what started off as a fluke challenge by your dad to solve this problem of building a fidget spinner and power apps, something he could not even do, that you two actually help and teach each other how to do these things. That is fantastic. And now you're a role model for other high school students and young women to realize that no, actually, tech is an all-people industry. It's not just a dude's industry. And it's actually quite fascinating to think about how many ways tech can disrupt and influence all of these other industries that we care so deeply about. So coming back to the fidget spinner project, mental health is something that you and I are quite passionate about. And we talk very openly about how important it is to discuss mental health issues and concerns within tech. Can you share a little bit about your journey and your story around mental health awareness?
Yes, so I am very open when it comes to discussing mental health. I try to be as open as possible because I suffered a lot with anxiety and depression in high school. But back then it wasn't, it's not something that people talk about. You're suffering, but you don't think that anyone else is. You don't hear about anyone else talking about their issues. And so you go, okay, I can't talk about this. I'm the only one who's feeling like this. And I'm ashamed, So personally, I've made it kind of my goal to just be as open as possible so that other people who are suffering or feeling alone are able to kind of see me and go, okay, it's not just me. This is kind of normal. Like it's okay. And especially in tech, because that's in particular, not a lot of people talk about that. Mm-hmm. I noticed at one point for a MVP summit, I couldn't go one year because I was having a bad time with my mental health. Mm-hmm. And I just tweeted like, hey, I'm not doing great mental health wise. I'm going to have to give it a skip. And so many people commented being like, oh my gosh, you are so brave for like saying that, so brave for being so open. And in my mind, I was like, I'm not being brave though. I'm just being honest. It's something that we need to talk about more, because if you don't talk about it, no one knows. And you're not able to get the support that you need.
That's right. And that's why the industry needs people like you, right? People who aren't old school in their thinking and old school in just how our industry has worked. Because there are so many people. I have traveled to maybe 40 plus countries. And in every country, I give a talk on neurodiversity and how important it is to embrace our neurodiversities as a superpower on how we function best. In every country, people come up and they whisper, I suffer from this too. And I said, that's fine and it's okay. They said, how do I talk to people about this? I said, the way you talk to anyone if you've got a broken arm or you're left-handed. It's just a part of you. It's a part of who you fundamentally are. So I'm so grateful that you, early career, are talking about this, because you're actually giving courage for people who have been in the industry for 10, 20, 30, 40 years to come out and talk about theirs as well. And it's so important that watching you, who's obviously extremely successful at what you do, whether it's your training, your MVP-ship. I know, I just saw that side eye there, Ashley. You're like successful. I see imposter syndrome. I sense imposter syndrome. It's so important for someone successful to stand up and say, yeah, I have mental health concerns. And most people do. I believe 4 out of 5 people do on the planet. And that 5th person probably does not know. So it's such a thing, it's such a stigma that we need to get rid of. And the only way to destigmatize something is to openly talk about it. So I am so grateful for you for being not necessarily brave or courageous, but being so authentically you enough to say, this is part of the deal, right? You want to be part of my bubble. You want to be part of my ecosystem. You want Ashley, you get all of Ashley. You don't just get, the polished Instagram version of Ashley. You get the whole thing. So thank you for being that. So you mentioned you went to all-girls school and computer science wasn't really a thing that you or your classmates felt. What is your advice now to other young women specifically who may feel the way you felt 5 years ago?
I think really you just need to give it a go. Don't think that it's not something you're going to do. Like a lot of people, they hear IT and they just completely like shut it off and they separate themselves from it because they have this idea of what IT is. Like don't think about what you think IT is. Go look for, you know, little courses that you can do, like really, really short things. I know there are a bunch of workshops and stuff for like coding and all those sort of things. And a lot of people don't realize they're interested in it until they actually try. So it's one of those things where you need to just try something, you know, and don't just think, oh, it's all just dudes in the industry. There are plenty of amazing women that you can look up to. And really, like they're not hard to find if you just go looking for them. So, you know, look for these mentors, give it a try. You don't have to like it, but just at least try it so you can kind of get an idea of what it's like.
Don't opt out before you try it. I love that advice.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for joining us with this, Ashley, and I can't wait for your session on Wednesday. So for all of you who want more of Ashley, who want to hear more about her story, tune in Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. Pacific time, whatever that zone is for you. And she is going to be part of a session called Be the Hero of Your Own Journey. And she will talk to everybody about her advice on how you too can be the hero of your journey. Thank you so much.